Do you like to eat meat? What about vegetables? Do you sometimes like to have food? Welcome to Be Less Stupid, I'm your host. If your answer was yes to any of those questions, you should stick around. I have some terrible news for you. Plus, on a regular Sunday, this swap meet would be jam-packed with vendors, shoppers, and families. But not today. The people who shop here are too scared to be outside. They're terrified of ICE raids that would result in deportations and their families being torn apart. Welcome to Be Less Stupid, the show for liberal politics, investigations, science, fact, and funny. I'm your host, Jon Hotchkiss. If you haven't done so already, I would please encourage you to subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon so you'll be notified when new episodes premiere. We begin with ugly news. Cheeto Jesus announced a cruel new plan to speed up deportations.
Undocumented immigrants in major U.S. cities.
The president has empowered ICE to send migrants who are caught illegally crossing the border back to Mexico before they get a hearing in front of a judge.
We are really specifically looking for bad players, but we're also looking for people that came into our country not through a process. They just walked over a line.
The ACLU has already filed suit, calling Trump's program a violation of due process. This move comes on top of Trump's other ugly new initiative, a dramatic increase in ICE raids. This one in Los Angeles was caught on cell phone video yesterday.
Care. We care.
The video is intense, showing the frantic moments as neighbors record two men dressed as ICE agents taking an Echo Park woman into custody.
The consequence of these raids is having a devastating effect in many Latin American communities. This one in particular has been hit especially hard. But the impact isn't just local. It will have significant national consequences. You see, if you like food, this area of Central California is a pretty important place. It's where 2/3 of America's fruits and nuts are grown, 1/3 of America's vegetables, and where 20% of America's dairy cows are raised. I have some very bad news for all of you. Oh, I have some terrible news. You guys apparently haven't gotten the message yet, have you? Oh, I have some very bad news. The 70,000 California farms that employ nearly 800,000 workers are responsible for about $60 billion worth of agricultural products annually. According to CBS News, 50% of California's farm workers are undocumented migrants. The other 50% are also foreign-born, but are now citizens. On a regular Sunday, this swap meet in Tulare, California, home to thousands of migrant farm workers, would be packed with shoppers, vendors, and families. But not today. Since Trump took office, everyone is scared, terrified actually, constantly looking over their shoulder, checking social media for ICE raid updates, and texting one another to make sure that they're safe. On this morning, most of them stayed home. They locked their doors. They turned out the lights, hoping, praying that their name wasn't on some list of those being rounded up. No one at this swap meet agreed to an on-camera interview, although two gentlemen did agree to let me film them if I agreed not to show their face. However, out of an abundance of caution, I've decided not even to play their voices. The reason for that will become evident in just a moment. But first, I would like to summarize for you the experiences that these men shared since Trump announced an increase in deportations and ICE raids. Everyone is terrified of being deported or detained, even workers who are here legally. People are staying home. Many are not going to work for fear that being out in the open makes them an easy target for ICE. As a consequence, if they don't work, they don't get paid. So people are struggling to feed their families, pay their rent, put gas in their cars, for example. As a side note, I considered not reporting some of these facts because if the president heard them, I know that it would make him happy to know that brown people are suffering as a result of his cruelty. That said, I decided it was more important that good people hear the truth, that elections have consequences, horribly cruel consequences. And that gets me back to the men that I interviewed. They are certain that Trump is a racist, and they feel hopeless and no longer believe that protesting and calling their representatives will have any beneficial effect. They don't understand why white Christian voters who claim to be pro-family are so cavalier and enthusiastic about the destruction being done to Latin American families, and the cruelty being visited upon those detained, the overcrowding, the lack of food, water, and sanitary conditions. They say that for 50 years, America has tacitly encouraged migrants to come to the U.S. to do the jobs that white people either don't or won't. Everyone I've ever spoken to in the California farming community says the same thing. They have never seen a white person pick fruits or vegetables. Meanwhile, as the president makes life miserable for migrant workers at a national level, community police are compounding that misery at a local level. Although California prohibits local police from helping ICE, a few months ago, the ACLU revealed that 80 law enforcement agencies from around the U.S., including the police right here in Tulare, were sharing license plate location data with ICE. Right here in Tulare, police cars have been outfitted with sophisticated new license plate readers. These devices capture hundreds of plates each day and then share real-time location information, first with their own police department and then with ICE. Obviously, knowing precisely where people are makes it much easier for ICE to find them. The good news, though, is that at least ICE does not have an illegally obtained database of thousands of photos of migrant workers that they stole from state governments who promised to keep those photos secure and not share them with ICE. Oh, I'm being told that is precisely what ICE has done. You see, as the New York Times reported earlier this month, ICE illegally used facial recognition software to mine photos from 3 states that issue driver's licenses to undocumented immigrants. Not only that, the Times also reported that ICE compiled photo data on legal immigrants as well. Those are American citizens who are in a file and could be rounded up by ICE just because their skin is brown. Do you remember at the beginning I said if you like food, I have some bad news? Well, here it is. According to lots of sources I've consulted, if Trump is successful and thousands of undocumented migrant workers in California are rounded up and then deported, nearly everything you eat will cost twice as much. If you enjoy my work, please go to our website and get yourself one of these Be Less Stupid t-shirts and show your solidarity with other like-minded liberals who care about equality, liberty, and justice for all. Make sure you also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified when new episodes premiere. Also, I know it's tiring. Please share this video on social media. It helps me grow the number of subscribers, and that allows me to continue doing my work. I would like to say thank you all for watching. I know that you have tons of choices on YouTube, and I very much appreciate that you choose to spend a few minutes of your precious time with me. For Be Less Stupid, I'm the host, Jon Hotchkiss, and I will see you next time.